Yo, what's up guys, Swordlord469 and welcome back to a new Star Wars The Clone Wars episode review. This time we're doing Season 7, Episode 4, Unfinished Business. As always, we're going to go over the plot, what I thought about it, the pros and cons, and ultimately how I would rate it from a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. Make sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to be comparing this new episode to the story reel version that released years ago. But yeah, enough said, let's get started. So the episode opens back on Anaxes. General Mace Windu talks about the Republic losing a lot of battlefronts on Anaxes due to the Separatists. Echo shows up in clone armor and discloses his own plan. He says that while Mace Windu leads an attack on the assembly complex, he and the Bad Batch would infiltrate Admiral Trench's command ship. From there, Echo would feed Trench strategies, but the thing is the Republic would know what the Separatists are doing. Echo would pretty much be making the droid army do what he wants. The plan is approved and the Republic goes to battle. On their way to Trench's dreadnought, Echo sent a signal which made the Bad Batch's ship appear as if it were one of the Separatists. The droids let the ship land, but Tech secretly lands the Bad Batch's ship on the bottom side of the dreadnought. The Bad Batch, Echo, Rex, and Anakin board the dreadnought. They get into Trench's comm vault, where Echo starts to feed strategies. Meanwhile, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and their clones start to raid the assembly complex. More and more droids are slowly attracted there. Once all the droids are in the assembly complex, Echo sends a feedback pulse that shuts them all down. Trench is surprised by this, so he and his droids try to figure out where the pulse came from. He says that a good leader doesn't rely solely on algorithms. He tells some droids to start a timer for a bomb he set up on Anaxes. Echo figures this out, so he warns the team. Tech tells Mace Windu to go find the bomb on Anaxes. Meanwhile, Anakin looks for Trench to see if he can disarm it. Windu finds the bomb, and Echo tells him the sequence of numbers to disarm it. However, just before he tells Windu the last digit, the droids send a pulse that electrocutes Echo. Anakin finds Trench and destroys his droids one by one. Threatening Trench, actually cutting off his arms, Anakin finds out the last digit, so he tells Windu. The bomb is successfully disarmed. However, Trench arms up his walking stick and electrocutes Anakin. To stop him, Anakin kills Trench once and for all. He takes a small device to blow up the dreadnought and tells Trench that it was a pleasure. The team fights their way back to the Bad Batch's ship. Once they were back on it and escaped, Anakin lets Wrecker blow up the dreadnought. Back on Anaxes, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Mace Windu congratulate the clones for their success. Medals were supposedly coming their way. The Jedi leave and Rex begins to follow. Echo looks back and notices the Bad Batch are not coming. He asks why, and the Bad Batch just say that accolades are not their thing. Hunter tells Echo that if he ever feels different, that he is free to go find them. Echo just stands there for a moment and Rex goes to talk to him. Rex tells Echo that the Bad Batch is one of the finest group of clones he has fought with. He says that if he thinks that is where his place is, then that is where he belongs. Rex walks away, and in a couple seconds, he turns back towards Echo. The episode ends with Echo joining the Bad Batch, all of them saluting Rex. So overall, just dang, what a great episode. I liked how the Bad Batch was cautious, thinking about whose side Echo was fighting for. Fight scenes were really well choreographed, they just kept you on your toes. Also, that fight scene between Anakin and Trench really just shows Anakin's dark side and foreshadows his transformation to Darth Vader. I also really liked the focus on Rex and that it wasn't the Bad Batch's story. I think it really made Rex grow as a character to accept letting go of his fellow clones. That message that Rex gives to Echo really can be applied to all of us in our own daily lives. Really though, if you find your place, that is where you belong. Echo earned the Bad Batch's trust. That just ties in so well with the quote for the episode. I don't think there are any cons. This episode was just perfect. Therefore, this episode deserves a 5. Great episode. I guess we're moving on to the last Legacy episode comparison. Up to this point in the Clone Wars season, I have spent a ton of time comparing both the new episodes and the story reels. They altogether were a really big joyride. Let's do this one last time. So first off, the intro was redone. It had the new intro music from last episode. The intro in the old episode spoke about Echo's new powers, but the one in the new episode questioned his loyalty. Also note the change of quote. The old one signified one's future, but the new one is about trust. I guess the new quote was meant to foreshadow Echo earning the trust of the Bad Batch and eventually joining them. Apart from that, the plot is pretty much the same. It's just that a lot of scenes were reorganized. The pacing of the debrief scene at the beginning of the episode was a lot faster because they cut some dialogue. That being the part where General Mace Windu talks about his own plan. Some dialogue is added between Rex and Tech talking about Echo's loyalty before they board the Bad Batch's ship. The scenes where Echo disguises the Bad Batch's ship as a Separatist one and the Dreadnought scans their ship is actually reorganized. The story reel had the scene with the battle droid split into two, but the new one actually unified them and put them after the scene where the team talks in the Bad Batch's ship. In the new episode, we go straight to the comm room scene. But in the old one, we actually had the raid by Mace Windu and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
General Kenobi.
I'm sorry, I had to do it for the prequel memes. But anyways, we were talking about the raid on the assembly complex. The Y-Wing pilots during the raid on the assembly complex had new helmets, while the ones in the story reels were what I think are visors. You guys just let me know in the comments. From here on, I just saw some small dialogue changes. So like, for example, when Anakin goes to find Trench, the tone of his voice is a bit brighter. I also like the addition of Echo's helmet. It was pretty cool. The scenes where Trench gets annoyed that all the battle droids are off and him starting the bomb are actually split into two in the new episode. Also, thank you, Disney, for not removing the scene where Anakin kills Trench. Just thank you. I was scared it would get removed because it might have not been kid-friendly. The metal scene was obviously replaced with Echo joining the Bad Batch, but yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for an upcoming video, the Bad Batch arc in review, coming soon. I'm going to be giving a brief summary of the past 4 episodes and any character developments that we have seen. Also, stay tuned for my next review, Season 7, Episode 5, releasing on Friday. Seeing the story reels, we already knew the main plot of the past 4 episodes, but it's all new from here. One more time, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.